here's something that could completely reshape India's automotive landscape forever. The Modi government just dropped a bombshell tax reform proposal that has investors scrambling and industry leaders calling it a game changer. But here's where it gets controversial. This massive tax slash could either revive India's struggling small car segment or create a financial strain that critics warn might backfire spectacularly. On Monday, August 18th, a government insider revealed Modi's administration is preparing to deliver the most aggressive tax overhaul since 2017. The centerpiece? Dramatically reducing the goods and services tax, GST, on compact cars from a hefty 28% down to just 18%. If you think that sounds significant, wait until you hear what they're planning for insurance premiums, potentially slashing them from 18% to as low as 5%, or possibly eliminating taxes entirely. The market's reaction was nothing short of explosive. Maruti Suzuki, India's undisputed small car champion, witnessed its shares rocket nearly 9% in a single trading session. This surge didn't happen in isolation. It triggered a domino effect that lifted India's benchmark Nifty index by 1.3%, marking what could become its strongest performance in 3 months. But let's break down what makes this proposal so revolutionary for everyday consumers. Currently, when you purchase a small petrol or diesel vehicle in India, specifically those with engines under 1200 cc for petrol variants and 1500 cc for diesel, measuring no more than 4 meters in length, you're paying a substantial 28% GST. Under Modi's proposed framework, this burden would drop to 18%, potentially making these vehicles significantly more affordable for middle-class families. The ripple effects extended well beyond Maruti. Fellow automakers including Mahindra, along with motorcycle giants Hero MotoCorp and Bajaj Auto, all experienced share price jumps ranging from 2% to 4%. Insurance heavyweights such as ICICI Prudential, SBI Life, and LIC saw their valuations climb between 2% and 5% before some profit-taking trimmed the gains. And this is the part most people miss. The small car segment has been quietly bleeding market share for years. These compact vehicles, which once commanded nearly 50% of India's passenger vehicle market before COVID-19, have shrunk to just 1/3 of the 4.3 million units sold in the most recent fiscal year. Indian consumers have been gravitating toward larger, feature-packed SUVs, leaving traditional small car manufacturers like Maruti scrambling to maintain relevance. Maruti chairman R.C. Bhargava didn't mince words when describing the potential impact. This restructuring of the GST will increase competitiveness of Indian products, he explained. With more affordability, more people will come into the purchasing system. Competition combined with your ability to produce and sell at lower prices makes for the best efficiency. However, here's where the controversy really heats up. Modi's generous tax cuts will undoubtedly strain government revenues at a time when public finances are already under pressure. Critics argue this populist move might be more about political optics than sound economic policy. Especially given the ongoing trade tensions with Washington, the proposed reform goes even deeper than just automotive taxes. Government officials revealed over the weekend that the entire GST structure would be simplified into just 2 primary rates, 5% and 18%. The current highest bracket of 28% would be completely eliminated. But, and here's the catch, a new 40% sin tax would be imposed on 5 to 7 categories of goods, including tobacco products and luxury items. For larger vehicles currently facing a brutal tax combination of 28% GST plus additional levies up to 22%, totaling around 50%, the new framework might impose a flat 40% rate. Government sources indicate they're still fine-tuning whether additional charges should be layered on top to maintain the overall tax burden for premium vehicles at current levels of 43 to 50%. The insurance angle presents another fascinating dimension to this reform. India's insurance penetration remains stubbornly low at just 3.8% of GDP in 2024, according to Swiss Re Institute data. industry experts believe that slashing GST on insurance premiums could finally unlock this market's potential, bringing financial protection to millions of underinsured Indian families. But here's the reality check. None of this becomes effective until the GST Council, chaired by the Federal Finance Minister and including representatives from all Indian states, gives their approval. A crucial meeting is anticipated by October, and state governments might have their own concerns about reduced tax revenues. The timing of this announcement raises eyebrows among political observers. With trade disputes intensifying between India and the United States, some analysts suggest Modi is using domestic tax relief to shore up his economic credentials and demonstrate India's commitment to boosting domestic consumption. For companies like Maruti, which has seen its market dominance erode from over 50% to approximately 40% in just 5 years, this tax relief could provide the lifeline needed to revive models like the Alto, Desire, and Wagon R. Hyundai Motor India and Tata Motors are also positioning themselves to capitalize on any resurgence in small car demand. The broader question remains, is this bold tax gamble a masterstroke that will democratize car ownership and insurance coverage across India? Or is it a risky fiscal maneuver that prioritizes short-term political gains over long-term economic stability? What do you think? Will these dramatic tax cuts successfully revive India's small car market and boost insurance adoption? Or are we witnessing a populist move that could strain government finances without delivering meaningful long-term benefits? Should governments prioritize making cars more affordable, or should they focus resources on public transportation and environmental concerns instead? Share your perspective. Are you excited about potentially cheaper cars and insurance, or worried about the fiscal implications of such generous tax cuts?